A shorter 5-game slate around the NBA on this Thursday evening with about 5, 6, or 7 games left at most for all 30 teams around the association. Just a week and a half remains in this NBA regular season. Today is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. A week from Sunday is the end of the regular season before the postseason begins. First, the play-in tournament, seeds 7 through 10 in each conference before we get to the full playoffs a few nights after that. Big one out in the Western Conference tonight. Late night in Los Angeles. It's the game that highlights the marquee. Denver, 4-point road favorite in LA against the Clippers. Over under 221.5. The Nuggets battling for the top spot. Tied right now with Minnesota for that number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Both teams 53 and 23. So after tonight, Denver only 5 more games. The Clippers still have 7 more, including tonight. They're trying to hold on to that 4th spot in the Western Conference, a 2-game advantage at the moment over the Dallas Mavericks.
By the way, overnight line in this one, kind of interesting at the FanDuel Sportsbook, Ben. -1.5 as a favorite, as a road favorite here for the Nuggets over the Clippers. That's not ballooned up to around 4 here, which is interesting to point out, and a total of 221. So immediately when you think like, oh no, what's going on here? Somebody sitting out, somebody coming back to the lineup. Well, the Denver Nuggets have been a little bit shorthanded in their starting 5, but tonight I'm showing Jamal Murray, KCP, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic in the starting lineup, which is great for them. So they should be full gas tonight. But looking at the Clippers starting lineup tonight, Ben, James Harden, Terrence Mann, Norman Powell, Paul George, and Ivica Zubac, which means Kawhi Leonard not suiting up. So reasoning behind that line move, one team getting fully healthy in the Nuggets, the other team not so much in the Clippers. And quite frankly, I never trust the Clippers. If both of these lineups were full go, I'm still taking the Nuggets at this spot, even though that line you could have gotten if you were awake, knowing what was going to happen with players playing tonight. And again, we don't know that officially till later on tonight. I still would be taking the Nuggets in this spot, Ben.
Yeah, still think it's a good number on Denver. The Clippers are the worst underdog covering team in the NBA this year, 4-10 against the spread. Not all that many games as compared to teams that we have seen near the bottom, Detroit, Portland, San Antonio, Washington, so on and so forth, but 4-10 against the spread. When a good team is booked as an underdog and is not good even covering numbers, it goes to show they're an underdog for a reason. In fact, in the last 3 games for LA as a dog, 0-3 against the number. Again, I agree with the Denver Nuggets being a road favorite, especially if Kawhi Leonard is not out there. Nikola Jokic, the NBA MVP this year, -700 is the number, +165 to record a triple-double tonight. He has been on fire as of late. In a big game for Denver, trying to keep pace for that number 1 overall seed and home court advantage throughout the Western Conference postseason. Denver is 31-8 at home this year. 2 teams have 30 wins at home or more. Boston, 33-3. Denver, 31-8. Only 2 more home games, though, coming for the Nuggets. Of course, they only have 5 more after tonight. DRS, at this point last week, when the Rockets were on their 9-game win streak, then 10 games, then 11 games, we thought, all right, maybe Houston is actually going to test Golden State for that 10th spot in the Western Conference standings, the 4th and final in the play-in tournament. It is slipping away. Partly because Golden State has been sensational. The Dubs have won 5 straight games, and since that 11-game win streak, the Rockets have dropped 2 in a row. Tonight, though, a chance for Houston to at least make things interesting. The Rockets a 3.5-point home underdog against the Golden State Warriors. What's your preview?
Yeah, imbalance here throughout the markets here. The FanDuel Sportsbook coming up here with a 3.5-point number. Some outlets out here showing a 4.5-point number here, and that's a favorite for the road team, the Golden State Warriors. We take a look at this game, 228. Not a lot of movement at FanDuel, which is interesting to me, which means we're not going to have a lot of shakeups in the lineup come to play tonight. But as you pointed out, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we're saying to ourselves, like, my goodness, man, Steph Curry's answering questions at the post-game presser like, I don't have any answers to this. We're not playing great basketball. If we don't get it together, we're not even going to be in the play-in round because of how good the Houston Rockets were playing. Fast forward a week and a half, this is what championship organizations do. Hey, guys, like, can we flip the switch and just get it together here for the remaining parts of maybe the final 10 games of the season and get in the playoffs? They've done exactly that, and the Houston Rockets have come back down to earth. They're not going to win 9 out of every 10 games you play heading down the stretch when other teams also are jockeying for position. But I think we can all agree on this. The Warriors on the road against Houston. Houston is a dog at home. They don't win tonight. It's lights out. It's over, and the Golden State Warriors automatically going to the playoffs. We can have some intrigue if the Houston Rockets do win tonight against the Golden State Warriors. Warriors. Having said that, based on play the past 2 weeks and the seriousness of this game tonight, I'm going to trust the team that's a multi-time world champion to win a big game against a team like the Houston Rockets that, quite frankly, aren't used to being in this position and maybe hit the crest of their season about a week ago here. Give me the Golden State Warriors, even if it is going to be one of those, like, who's not going to take the Warriors tonight? I'll take them, Ben.
Both of these teams have played 75 games, 6 more left after tonight. But if Golden State wins, and they're favored to do so, even if the spread is relatively short, just 3.5 in favor of the Dubs, that's going to be a 4-game margin for Golden State in front of Houston with 6 games remaining in this NBA regular season. It would take virtually a miracle for the Rockets to catch the Dubs for that 10 spot in the Western Conference. And Golden State got off to a great start following the All-Star break. In their wins, totals stayed under. In this 5-game win streak, the Warriors have been under in 4 of 5. For the Rockets, meanwhile, the offense has ramped up. They've been over in 8 of their last 10. I'll just say this. I agree with the odds makers having Golden State as the favorite. If Golden State is going to win outright, I expect the game to stay under the total. Big one tonight in terms of postseason positioning inside Madison Square Garden. The New York Knicks and the Sacramento Kings. The Knicks right now in the 5 spot in the Eastern Conference. But between the Cavs, the Magic, and the Knicks, that's 3, 4, 5 in the Eastern Conference. Only a game separates those 3 teams. Sacramento DRS just a half game behind both Phoenix and New Orleans. Phoenix, the 6th seed currently in the Western Conference. NOLA in that 7 spot at the moment. So a big one, and that's reflected in a line. Just a 3.5-point spread in favor of the Knickerbockers, over under 214. Expected to be a close game. Just how tight will it be tonight inside MSG?
Oh, it's going to be tight, no doubt about it. But also, I do think you're getting a lot of respect here for the Knicks. Now, granted, they are home here, and the Sacramento Kings 3,000 miles away and aren't playing their best basketball now. But overall talent, the Kings have more talent tonight than the Knicks do. But you take a look at that line overnight opening up at minus 3.5 for the Knicks. Still sits there at the FanDuel Sportsbook this morning at a 3.5-point price. And also at low total here at 214. Looking at the anticipated starting lineups coming in tonight, the one thing that you'll know with the Knicks, they're still not getting their superstars back yet. Brunson, McBride, DiVincenzo, Hart, and Hartenstein followed up here for Sacramento, Fox, Ellis, Barnes, Murray, and Sabonis. For me, it's more of a prop game overall. I would like to take the points with Sacramento, but I just like the way the Knicks win basketball games at home. And also, as you pointed out, this is a huge game for both of these teams in the standings. So it's not like one team's like, if we don't win tonight, it's not a big deal. They both really need these games. For me, it's been Dante DiVincenzo 3-point props. He's going to shoot at least 15. Can he make 4 of those? That's really the bet. And also, Domantas Sabonis. It's not really about the double-double anymore. It's about the triple-double. But also, where do we like triple-doubles, Ben? When the total is 235, 240, 245. This is 215 in that mid-teens range. I don't know how many points we're getting, but the one thing I do know, DiVincenzo is going to be firing from 3-point range. That's probably the best of it for me in this game. Just give me Dante to make a couple 3-point shots tonight. He's going to take enough of them.
Listen, we knew Julius Randle was not playing in tonight's game for the Knicks. It was seeming dismal he would return at a certain point this season, but we just got the breaking news from ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Julius Randle, after trying to rehab his shoulder for the past 2 months or so, will undergo season-ending right shoulder surgery. So now the Knicks will be without Julius Randle for the remainder of this season and their playoff push. The odds have not moved, though, so I think it was baked into the idea. It was pretty slim that Randle would play again this year. The Knicks still tied for that third-best price with the Cavs and the Sixers at 12-1 to win the Eastern Conference DRS.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm glad that news came out. It's kind of nice that we're talking about the Knicks at the same exact time. But I think if we rewind a couple of games ago, Josh Hart taking the mic after a game like, hey, these wins are nice, and we're actually not expecting either one of these players to come back, which was news to me, as we were just thinking that it was a couple-week injury for both of those guys. So Anunoby was a great addition to the Knicks. You're not even going to reap the fruits of that benefit there. And, of course, Julius Randle, this was one of those teams we were eyeing up saying, boy, if they can play this well with basically just 2 players on the court, wait till the stars come back and maybe they can make some headway here in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case unless Brunson just goes all world. And what does that mean, Ben? Winning a playoff round at this point? Tough scene for Knicks fans out here, hoping to get some of those players back. Looks like they're not going to get them.
Knicks on a 3-game skid. They have gone over in 5 straight, which is unlike Tom Thibodeau and his New York team at its best. Over in 7 of the last 8. Total tonight, 214 between Sacramento and New York inside the Garden. Philadelphia now has Joel Embiid back. They got a big victory at home over OKC in his return on Tuesday. How does it look tonight against the Miami Heat? Well, the Sixers, a 3-point road underdog in South Beach. JoJo, though, expected to play for his second consecutive night. 26.5 is the points prop for Embiid.
Yeah, this is a lot of respect towards the Sixers here, getting 3 points. You say, well, why is that here? You take a look at who's actually playing. Maxi's supposed to be in the starting lineup tonight in the anticipated look, and so is Joel Embiid. Now, the question's going to be, is Joel Embiid improve on his first game back performance, which was quite good and played close to 30 minutes? If you get that type of Joel Embiid back with Tyrese Maxey in the lineup, I do think they're the better overall team than the Heat. But I'm just reading into those lines right now. They want you to take the Sixers. Embiid's back, Maxey's back here, but you still have a decent starting lineup anticipated tonight for those Miami Heat with Rozier, Duncan Robinson, Butler, Jovic, and Adebayo. I want to take the Sixers as a fan here. I want to believe Joel Embiid is going to be a great player tonight. But having said that, Maxey also coming back from injury, maybe too many question marks. I lean Heat tonight, but watch out. If the Sixers win this game, now take a game over the Heat. And again, we're talking about the standings here heading forth where these two teams don't want to be in the play-in rounds. And maybe if the Pacers falter down the stretch, both of these teams can move up. We'll see what happens. But this is a monster game. Sixers win. They're going to press all in the remaining couple parts of these games here so they can try to get out of that play-in round. If they lose tonight, maybe a different approach down the stretch. We'll see.
Miami on a 3-game win streak. They have covered in 2 of the 3. In one time they pushed, winning by 12 as a closing 12-point favorite against the Wizards. They have also gone over in all 3 games on this win streak. But because of the 3 straight wins, they are 42-33. 6 more games after tonight. Indiana only has 5 more games this year. The Pacers also, right now, technically tied, but the Heat a slightly better win percentage. So they're in the 6th spot, Indiana in 7. But there's just a game and a half in front for both Miami and Indiana in front of Philadelphia. Could be a huge game. I'm intrigued by the line. Is the line incorrect, not taking into account the return of Embiid and maybe Tyrese Maxey? Or is it telling us something that there's still a ways to go for Philadelphia? Also tonight on the hardwood, the NIT final in Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, the home of Butler, but tonight an NIT champion will be crowned. 2 teams not just playing for the NIT title, but for the right to say, we told you so, selection committee, we should have been in over Virginia. It's Indiana State and Seton Hall. The Sycamores a 2.5-point favorite, total 159.5. Any thoughts on the NIT title game tonight between the Sycamores and the Pirates?
Simple thoughts here. Top 11 in the country at shooting the 3-point shot is Indiana State. You take a look at Seton Hall. We'll defend it a little bit here, but lets you shoot it at 322 in the country. The only shame of this is that this game will be on TV. It should be fun to watch. But your boy lives in New Jersey, and Seton Hall's in New Jersey. So apparently I won't be able to partake in this game. I would have loved to have bet 3-point props for Indiana State, and I won't be able to do that. Larry Blurred, get out. Get after it, baby. Go ahead.
Do you want me to put in anything for you? No? I can.
That sounds like a legal tactic right now, Ben. You sure we're on TV or not right now?